And we are live. Good morning, folks. Thank you for joining me this morning. It's Friday, which is fantastic. It's Friday morning, last day of the week. For many people, it's a day of celebration because they have the weekend ahead. And for a lot of people who don't work for themselves, yesterday was payday, which is even better. So you may have been out yesterday or last night to a restaurant or for a few beers. And of course, because today is Friday, also, as well as our book review, just remind you, today is no mail day. So today, I've been telling people for the last 22 years, I've been doing it for the last 22 years. I don't open my mail on a Friday. I just don't open my mail, my post on a Friday. Okay? And it's for mental health reasons. And if you want to know more, and especially if you now have left for work and the postman has not come, I'll just give you a very brief synopsis of why you should not open your mail. If you've left for work and you're on the way out the door and the postman hasn't come, and you're going to wait till you come home at 5, 6, or 7 o'clock this evening to open your mail, there could be something in there that's going to really, really upset you. And it's going to upset you more because there's no one you can call till Monday, and it'll ruin your weekend. So do what I do, and what many of the people who follow me have been doing for years. We don't open our mail on a Friday. It's no mail Friday. It's very easy to do. It's only day. Look, even if you have won the Euro Millions and they're just posting out your check, if you get it this afternoon, you still can't lodge it till Monday. So don't open your mail. There's absolutely no point. Okay, no point. So if you want, I have a full video on that on my YouTube channel, Not Mind's Eye Education, right? Explaining why you shouldn't open your mail. Now, the thing is, today is book review day. So every Friday we do a book review. We pick a book that I have in my collection that I think every business person, anyone in business, doing business, running your own business, leading a team from the front, I even believe it, leading a project team or a team of people in work. It's a book you should have. And this week, we're doing one, The Diary of a CEO. The Diary of a CEO by Steven Bartlett. Now, anyone who has any interest in business in any shape or form, if you follow Dragon's Den, you will know about Steven Bartlett. Okay? If you listen to podcasts, you will know about Steven Bartlett. He has a fantastic podcast called The Diary of a CEO. Okay? So he's a podcast up there as well, which is fantastic podcast. And he has a whole range of guests, from business people to doctors, psychologists, philosophers. His range of guests are huge, which is probably what makes it so interesting, that he doesn't just stick to one genre of type of people that he'll interview. He interviews a whole range of people about a whole range of topics, not just business, but health, mind, spirit, all that type of stuff. And they're all very interesting, right? So The Diary of a CEO is also a podcast. You should look that out. At the same time that you're looking his up, don't forget to look mine up. It's under Mark Beck's, right? So this book is written in a way, like Steven Bartlett has raised hundreds and hundreds of millions in business. He says at one stage he's involved in 70 companies, combined turnover of over $1 billion. So and he's young. He knows what he's doing. He's very, very driven, but never takes a meeting before 11 o'clock in the morning. So he says, and he doesn't get up till about 10. So he sleeps late, never takes a meeting before 11 o'clock in the morning, is what he says and what he's well known for saying. The way this book is written, there's 5 pillars. He calls them pillars. And the interesting thing is, the 5 sections are about yourself, the story, the philosophy, and the team. And one thing he says in this, which I've underlined, which I think is very good, he said, this is not a book about business strategy. Strategy changes like the seasons. This is the book about something much more permanent. This is a book about the fundamentals, ensuring the law of building great things and becoming great yourself. So That's why. So it's not a book about business strategy. It's a book about building businesses and building yourself. And that's why he's broken down into a number of parts. It's all about building yourself and the business. And his first law is very interesting. His first law is for anyone who's starting a business. And he said he believes there's 5 buckets in life. And you need to fill the 5 buckets as you go in life. And his 5 buckets are what you know. So your knowledge. Now, he doesn't just mean education. So he means also the knowledge you've gained from running your own companies, or being involved in business, or being involved in committees, and being involved in whatever you do. So that's a bucket you have to fill if you want to do well in life. You have to build your knowledge. It's also from reading, from listening to podcasts like his and mine, and Anne-Marie's podcast. It's about knowledge. That's the first bucket he reckons you should fill. What you can do, your skills. Now, he doesn't just mean manual skills. He means skills in general. So what gifts do you have? If you're dyslexic like myself, maybe you're very creative. Maybe the way you think is different than other people. Maybe you're great at numbers. Maybe you're great at drawing. Maybe you're great at leading people. Maybe you're great at strategy. It could be a whole range of things that you could be great in. You could be great in starting the business, leading from the front, and developing that business. You could be a great accountant, great actuary, a great marketing person, a great salesperson. But the thing is, what can you do? And you need to fill that bucket with your skills. And you need to improve those skills as you go along. Be gaining knowledge on those skills. The next bucket he said you should fill up is who you know, your network. That you should be building a network all the time. And he doesn't just mean on social media. He means going out to network events, meeting people in your industry and in other industries. So knowing and filling up that bucket of your networks. What you have, your resources. And it's funny, when people hear the word resources, they always think of money. Which, when you're buying a business, or when you're selling a business, or when you're running a business, resources are not always money. Resources could be any of the above. Your contacts, your skill base, your knowledge, they're resources. You have to remember that they are resources as well. So don't always, when someone says, what are your resources, be always going, well, I don't have resources, because you assume resources mean money. It doesn't mean money. Resources mean everything that you have to make something better. So if you run up against a problem, you might have to use your skill set, your creativity, your accountancy skills, your sales skills. They're all resources. Too many people just assume resources is all about money. And then the last one is what the world think of you, your reputation. How do people think about you and your company in the marketplace? If somebody wants to solve a problem, do they come to you? And even in your own company, what is your reputation? Are you a hard taskmaster? Do you get on well with your staff? Do your staff want to work for you? Do they believe in you? Do they trust you? Do they know that when you say something, you stick by it and that you deliver on what your promise is? Does your customers believe you and what you say? Do you deliver, and do your customers trust you to deliver on what you promise? So these are all part of your reputation. So that's his first law. And just anybody who's joined, we're reviewing Steven Bartlett's The Diary of a CEO this morning. So guys, anybody who's joined us on any of our channels, that's what we're reviewing this morning. So there's a lot of laws in here. There's a lot of stuff. A few little nuggets. A smart frame will transform the plane. And what he means by that is you might have a very simple business that may look boring, that may not make people want even to go into that business. But it depends on how you frame it and how you deliver it to people. Many people say accountancy practices are boring. Solicitor practice may be boring. Bookkeeping companies may be boring. Payroll companies may be boring. Plumbing may be boring. Electrical stuff may be boring. But it's how you frame your business and how you frame your company when you are trying to sell it to other people to buy your product? Do you make it look more interesting? Do you make it that you're offering more than they would expect? So by taking, if you look at that picture there, many years ago, when I was managing director of Indigo, I sponsored the Indigo ISAF World Team Racing Championships, and that was in 1999 out in the Royal St. George in Dunleary. Fantastic race, fantastic bunch of people. But that picture on its own is no good. It's how it's framed makes it stand out. And that's what he means. It's how you frame things. So that's a great quote. Another one. If you want long-term success in business, relationships in life, you have to get better at accepting uncomfortable truths as fast as possible. When you refuse to accept uncomfortable truths, you're choosing to accept an uncomfortable future. And what he means by that is, in business and in life, there's certain things that you have to accept may or may not be working, may or not be going the right way. And we all know, and business people and other people who in relationships and all that, and in business, who don't accept that things are not working out and that things need to change. One of the things I wrote about many years ago is if you're going to fail fast and move on. And it's the same thing. To be good at what you're doing, you have to accept sometimes that maybe some project you're running, maybe something you're writing, some strategy you're proposing, something you're doing, maybe isn't right, isn't the way it should be, and isn't working. And only when you accept that's not working, then can you move on and develop something else that's great. So I'll give you the one. Where's your one? Another great one here. And he says it here. Where is it? Right. Do not wage a war on reality. Invest in shaping perceptions. Our truth is not what we say. Our truth is the story we choose to believe. So this is true also in marketing. And he says in the book, he mentions it as well. What you see may not be reality, and what people see may not be reality. It's also how you deliver that and make a reality for people. And one of the great comments he has here, and I'm just going to find out about selling. And I had it marked, and of course I can't find it, which is great. And he says, when you're selling, here it is, through the lens of ownership, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. So if you remember that quote, through the lens of ownership, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. And what he's talking about there, he says Apple do it very well, and Elon Musk do it very well, and car showrooms do it very well. If you let someone touch your product or test your product and get to feel as if they own it, then when they have this feeling of ownership and they see how it can benefit them, then more than likely they'll buy it quicker. So Apple do it very well in the stores. When you go into an Apple store, test out the product, you can hold it, you can feel it, you can look the product all around, and you're getting the sense of what would it be like if I owned that product. So already you're building an attachment to that product. Already you're starting to feel like you own it. I did this many years ago. I brought home a Jag that I wanted to test drive, and the garage told me I could have it for a week to test drive it. Now they knew when I got into that car, I was never bringing that car back, ever. They knew once I sat in that car, and I never brought it back. I bought it. And I bought it because I spent the whole week sitting in it, driving it, enjoying the car. And it was a sports Jag. So I was enjoying it. I loved driving it to work. I loved driving it home. I loved driving it for the weekend. It was fantastic. And because I felt like I owned it, I felt the benefits of ownership, I kept it. And that's why he says that Elon Musk, through his companies and through Tesla and another product. And that's what car garages are very good. Some of them are better than others. Very high-end garages will actually let you take their car home for maybe 1 or 2 nights, because they know that if you get the feel of it, if you get to sit in the seat, if you get to play with all the buttons, if you get to drive it through the traffic and relax with the sound, the music, surround sound, or whatever it is, that you will keep it. Because already you've felt the benefits of ownership. Now, some of the other car garages around won't do that, because then they don't perceive there's any value in that, because what they're selling is an ordinary family car. But on the luxury end of the markets, they'll let you take it home and they'll let you test it. And Apple do it very well. So he's saying, take a leaf out of other people's book and consider that as a selling point and the benefits of that type of stuff. So it's a very good book. It's very well laid out, very well written. And the beauty about this book is you never finish reading it, because the podcast, as I said, is there also, right? The podcast is there also. So you never finish reading it, which is fantastic. Highly recommended. So if you want, and for the last few weeks, I've recommended Jack Black's book, Think and Grow Rich. I also did Thinking About Stuff. I forgot the name of the book last week. Something might come back to me in a few minutes. I'm looking to see, is it there where I left it? No. So, and these are books, I think, whether you have them on Kindle or where you have them, the physical book. The books that, when things are tough or when you want some inspiration, that you go to them and give them a read. And you may not read a book in one sitting. You may not even read the whole book now. You may just take chapters and read chapters. And you'll always find out, even with like the Diary of a CEO, you're going to come back with ideas and inspiration. Like even the idea that I said of people testing a product as if they own them. Already people listening to this podcast and this show may think, well, actually, if my customers could test my product, I see this is why an awful lot of online people now give a week's free trial or a month's free trial. They want you to get so used to using the product that now you can't live without it, so you have to pay for it. That's how you do it, right? And it's a great selling technique, because their view is if they give you the product, they've already developed the product. They've already done all the development, all the strategy, all development. So it's there. So you using it for a week or a month doesn't really cost them any money, because they're hoping for every 10 people who take the product and test it for free for a week and a month, that if 2 or 3 of them actually sign up, that's a win. If 5 of them sign up, absolutely championship, to win the championship league. If more than that sign up, they're winning the FA Cup. Okay? And that's what it's all about. So there's people there probably listening this morning thinking, God, that's a great idea. How could I relate that to my electricity company or my plumbing company or my accountancy practice or my solicitor practice or whatever? How could I apply that technique? And that's the thing about reading the Diary of a CEO and many of the other books. You'll come away with ideas. You'll come away with thoughts that you may relate it to your own business or to your own life that makes things better. So thanks so much for joining me this morning. I said it's Friday, which if you're working for yourself, for a lot of people, Fridays are great because you're hoping them by 5 o'clock this evening, if you are in trouble, if you do owe 100 quid, if you do owe 1,000 quid, you do owe 100,000 pounds, or you do owe £1 million quid, and your phone's ringing and people are chasing you for money, the weekend most times gives you a bit of breather for you to regroup and get your head clear over the next 2 days. That's why Friday is great for a lot of people. For other people who are self-employed, Friday is a terrible day and a very stressful day because they're running around trying to get money in for wages. So I'm not sure which it is for you, but I hope either way that you do have and try to have a relaxing weekend. And as I said at the very beginning of this podcast, remember, today is no mail day. Don't open your mail. Do not open your mail on a Friday. If you want to know why, just look at one of my videos on YouTube and you see exactly why you should not open your mail on a Friday. So thanks very much for joining me today. Have a great day and have a great weekend. And as I said before, if you need to talk to me, you need to reach out to me. It's markbeggs@gmail.com. If you want me to sit down and talk to you about your business for about 45 minutes to an hour, you just have to buy me a coffee. That's all it's going to cost you. And if I can be of any help, I'll tell you if I can. If I can't, I won't waste my time and I won't waste your time. If you're one of my friends from the States or the Netherlands or Finland or somewhere further afield, we can always have a virtual coffee. Just reach out. It's markbeggs@gmail.com. Have a great one. Enjoy your weekend, folks. Goodbye to everyone on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn.